Your mind is your greatest weapon, but only if you train it. Most people let their emotions control them. Warriors, they command their emotions. When les feet, they decrete. This isn't about being fearless, it's about being unshakable, because mental strength isn't gifted. Itegat is forged. This is Funny Fun Audiobook Gala, and you're about to learn how to think, feel, and fight like a warrior of the mind. Let's begin. Every single day, your mind gives you two choices. Command or obey. You either take control of your thoughts, or your thoughts take control of you. There's no middle ground. There's no neutral zone. You're either the master of your mind, or its prisoner. Most people, they live in mental prisons, locked inside their fears, chained by doubt. And every day they hand their power away to emotion. But warriors come they train it. They discipline it. They turn it into an ally. Because the truth is, your emotions will always whisper lies. They'll tell you you're too tired. They'll tell you it's not worth it. They'll tell you maybe tomorrow. And if you listen to that voice long enough, you'll believe it. Your feelings don't decide your destiny. Your focus does. When your alarm goes off at 5 a.m., your emotions will say, sleep more, but your mission says, get up. When you fight, your emo says quit, but your discipline says, learn. When the world doubts you, your emotions scream, hide. But your warrior mind whispers, prove them wrong. That's the difference. Weak minds react. Strong minds respond. Think about Navy SEALs. They don't train for comfort. They train for chaos. They themselves are weakness lep, no for mercy. Because chaos reveals control. A weak mind breaks under pressure. A trained mind performs. When the world burns, when fear rises, when everything screams stop, a warrior doesn't flinch. Es l'ordonne. Ebriat. He thinks. That's not emotion. That's training. You see, the goal isn't to remove emotions. The goal is to rule them. You don't sound hear it, understand it, and still for. Control is not built in calm moments. Control is built when your hands shake, your heart races, and you still choose to move forward. It's built when you want to quit, but you don't. When you want to scream, but you stay silent and focused. When everything in you says stop, but you whisper back, not yet. That's how you train your mind. Most people wait for motivation. Warriors build momentum. Motivation is emotional. It fades. Momentum is logical. It grows. And momentum only comes from action. When you act, without waiting to feel ready, your brain learns discipline. When you show up tired, your brain learns consistency. When you face discomfort, your brain learns control. That's how you program your mind to serve you, not enslave you. Every time you say no to your emotions, you say yes to your power. Every time you stay calm under pressure, you earn mental armor. Every time you keep your word, when no one is watching, you build the muscle of control. And that muscle, it doesn't get tired. It gets stronger. The mind loves comfort. It wants the easy way out, the familiar path. It doesn't care about greatness. It cares about safety. But safety kills growth. That's why control is everything. Control means doing what's right, not what's easy. It means acting on logic, not impulse. It means telling your brain, you work for me now. Because if you don't, it will control you. It will decide when you wake, how you work, and when you quit. It will turn your goals into fantasies and your dreams into dust. So you must fight back, not with anger, but awareness. Catch your thoughts in real time. Ask yourself, is this emotion helping me or holding me back? Is this fear protecting me or paralyzing me? And when you find it's holding you back, replace it. With action, with clarity, with command. The mind can't resist direction. It needs a leader. So lead it. Starte small, when like Troitanwe. When you don't feel like working, start anyway. When you feel anger rising, breathe before you speak. Every small act of control becomes a brick in your mental fortress. One day, you'll look back and realize you're no longer reacting, you're responding. You're no longer falling apart, you're built different. That's the moment you'll understand. The battle was never against life. The battle was always inside you. Control your mind, or it will control you. Choose your thoughts before they choose your path. You don't need to feel ready. You need to feel responsible. You don't need motivation. You need mastery. Because only one person decides whether you're en weakness. Make that choice today. Andrew. This is Funny Fun Audio Book Gala, where discipline meets dominance and control becomes your superpower. If your mind is a weapon, then discipline is the hand that wields it. Without discipline, even the sharpest mind will rust. Without discipline, purpose becomes potential, and potential dies unused. You can have talent. You can have intelligence. You can even have passion. But if you don't have discipline, you have nothing that lasts. Discipline is what separates the talkers from the doers. It separates those who almost made it from those who actually did. Let me tell you something real. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't wait for the perfect mood, the perfect day, or the perfect timing. It demands action, no matter what's happening. Most people live slave stand. They say, I'll work when I feel inspired. I'll start when I'm ready. I'll train when I'm in the mood. That's not discipline. That's weakness dressed as logic. The warrior understands something deeper. If you only move when you feel good, you'll never get anywhere worth going. You build self-discipline by keeping promises to yourself when it's hardest, when your body says, I'm tired. But your mind says, we're not done yet. When the alarm rings and your first thought is 5 more minutes, but your discipline whispers, get up. It's time to earn it. That's when power is built. That's when identity changes. That's when you stop negotiating with weakness and start becoming unstoppable. Discipline is not punishment, it's liberation. Because when you're disciplined, you're no longer ruled by impulses. You stop being a victim of moods and become a master of moments. Think about it. A soldier doesn't wait to feel ready before battle. A surgeon doesn't wait to feel motivated before operating. They rely on systems, not feelings. That's what discipline is, a system that runs even when you don't want to. If you wait for motivation, you'll lose every time. Motivation is the spark. Discipline is the engine. The spark fades. The engine runs forever. Let's talk truth. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's not applause, not followers, not dopamine. It's repetition, boredom, silence, sweat. But inside that silence something powerful grows, control. And once you taste that control, you'll never go back, because discipline gives you freedom, freedom from guilt, freedom from chaos, freedom from regret. When you know you've done the work, you walk differently. You talk differently. You sleep peacefully. Because you've earned your peace. Let me show you what I mean. There's a story of a soldier, exhausted, bleeding, half-conscious. He's been awake for 72 hours. He hasn't eaten properly in days. He's ordered to climb a hill under gunfire. He doesn't debate. He doesn't complain. Émauve. Step by step. Because his mind doesn't ask for comfort, it follows command. That's discipline. That's training the mind to obey reason, not emotion. You might not be in a war zone, but your battles are just as real. Every morning, you fight resistance. Every evening, you fight distraction. Every day, you fight the voice that says, maybe tomorrow. That voice is your true enemy. And discipline is your only weapon. Discipline starts small. It's not about massive changes overnight. It's about make your bed, show up on team. Finish what you start. Do one more rep when you want to quit. These moments may look small, but they build a fortress in your mind. Every act of follow-through tells your brain, I am in charge. And that's how identity shifts. You go from I try to I do, from I hope to I will. HMTHES being perfect. It's about being consistent. You will fail you days. You will fall short, but the disciplined don't stay down. They reset immediately. Because discipline isn't about never falling, it's about never staying fallen. When you break a rule, make a new one stronger. When you miss a target, analyze, adapt, attack again. That's the mindset of mastery. The problem is, people think discipline kills happiness. They think structure kills freedom. They couldn't be more wrong. Lack of discipline kills joy because it builds regret. Lack of structure creates chaos because it wastes time. You can't feel peace if you live in disorder. But when you live with discipline, life simplifies. You wake up and know your mission. You stop chasing every distraction. You stop caring about what others think. And that's when you finally start living free. Discipline is self-respect in action. It's how you prove to yourself that your word means something. It's how you earn your own trust. And once you trust yourself, the world can't shake you. Because your confidence no longer depends on results. It comes from effort, from execution, from showing up every single day, regardless of outcome. That's the code of a warrior. That's how you train your mind like one. Never forget. You are either training discipline or training weakness. Every decision feeds one or the other. So ask yourself every morning, what am I training today? If the answer is discipline, then your life will reflect strength, peace, and control. If not, the mind will own you. Choose wisely. Choose power. Choose discipline. This is Funny Fun Audiobook Gala, where warriors are made. Discipline becomes destiny, and self-control becomes your superpower. Most people don't live, they just react. They wake up and instantly hand control of their emotions to the world. A notification dings, they react. Someone criticizes them, they react. Plans change, they panic. Every day, they surrender their peace to random chaos, but warriors. They don't react, they respond, because reacting is emotional. Responding is intentional. And that one shift changes your entire life. Beat, tone grows stronger, deliberate pacing. Let's get one thing straight. Your emotions are not your commander. They're swings, not orders. You obey them. When you respond, you use them. Weak minds explode at every inconvenience. Strong minds pause, process, and then proceed. That pause, that single breath, is where power lives. Because in that pause, you choose how to respond. And that choice defines your strength, your peace, and your destiny. The average person gets triggered 100 times a day. By comments, delays, insults, rejection, small things that steal big energy. They allow strangers, co-workers, even traffic to dictate their mood. That's slavery, emotional slavery. But a warrior's mind is untouchable. He trains himself to remain calm when everyone else loses control. Not because he doesn't feel, but because he refuses to be ruled. When life tests him, he doesn't react with panic. He responds with precision. He observes, evaluates, executes. That's emotional discipline, the foundation of strength. There's a reason ancient warriors trained not just their bodies but their minds. The samurai practiced stillness before every strike. The Spartans faced insult and humiliation in silence to build control. They understood something modern people have forgotten. You can't master the battlefield if you haven't mastered your emotions, because when chaos hits, panic kills faster than any weapon. In your life, panic will kill your peace, your decisions, your focus. The goal is simple: be calm under fire. Imagine this. You're in traffic. Someone cuts you off. Instantly, your chest tightens, anger surges, words form in your head. That's the reaction. But now imagine, instead of giving in, you take a single breath. You observe the feeling. You let it pass. You choose peace. That's the response. You didn't suppress emotion. You mastered it. You didn't lose energy. You redirected it. Every time you do this, you grow stronger. Every time you react less, you rise higher. That's the path of the mental warrior. Here's the truth most won't tell you. Your reactions reveal your level of training. A weak mind reacts fast. A strong mind reacts slow. And the strongest mind barely reacts at all. Because it has seen worse. Felt worse. Survived worse. When you've trained your mind through pain, insults, and failure, the small stuff doesn't shake you anymore. That's why you must practice emotional control every single day. It's not a one-time lesson, it's lifelong conditioning. Start small. When someone interrupts you, breathe. When things don't go as planned, pause. When your ego wants to defend itself, stay silent for a moment. These micro-pauses are mental push-ups. They build your capacity to stay calm under pressure. Because the moment you lose control, the world controls you. The warrior's edge is calm. Calm is clarity. And clarity wins battles, both in life and within the mind. You see, the problem isn't what happens to you. It's how you handle what happens. Life will throw chaos your way. Betrayal, disappointment, uncertainty, you can't stop that. But you can stop reacting emotionally to it. You can build a mindset that responds strategically instead of emotionally. That's the shift that separates the average from the exceptional, because emotions are like storms. You can't stop the rain, but you can build shelter. And the shelter is your discipline. A great leader once said, "I never make decisions when I'm angry or afraid, because emotion clouds truth." Think about that. How many mistakes have you made out of reaction, words you regret, choices you wish you could undo? Reaction is the voice of your wounds. Response is the voice of your wisdom. When you react, your past controls your present. When you respond, your presence controls your future. That's the difference between living on autopilot and living with mastery. So how do you train this? First, awareness. You must recognize your emotional triggers. Know what sets you off: impatience, disrespect, failure, fear. Once you name them, they lose power. Second, pause. Between emotion and action, insert a breath. That breath is the bridge between chaos and control. Third, choose response. Ask yourself, what outcome do I want right now? Then act in alignment with that, not your feelings. This is how warriors think. Strategic, calculated, controlled. Remember, reacting is easy. Responding takes strength. Anyone can explode, argue, panic, or quit. It takes zero discipline to lose control, but staying calm when you es un défi. That's real power, because calm minds make clear moves. And clear moves create unstoppable progress. If you can remain composed in the middle of chaos, you instantly rise above 99% of people. That's how leaders are born. That's how warriors are made. So, from today, stop being emotionally available to everything. Not every insult deserves your attention. Not every battle deserves your energy. Not every storm deserves your reaction. Protect your peace like a fortress. Let silence be your superpower. Let stillness be your weapon. Because when you control your reaction, you control your reality, and that's what Funny Fun audiobook Gala teaches. Mental mastery, emotional control. Discipline that doesn't break when life does. Don't just listen, train this daily. Next time chaos knocks, don't react. Respond like a warrior. Breathe. Observe. Execute. Because in a world full of noise, calm is the loudest strength you can have. Everyone wants strength, but no one wants the struggle that builds it. Everyone wants peace, but no one wants the pain that teaches it. Here's the truth most people never face. Pain is not your punishment. Pain is your teacher. When you stop running from it and start learning from it, your life changes forever, because pain is feedback. Pain is direction. Pain is information about what still needs to be fixed. Forged and fortified inside you, weak minds resist pain. Strong minds study it. Warriors transform it. They understand something powerful. Pain will either break you down or build you up. And that outcome depends entirely on one choice. Do you avoid it, or do you train through it? Think about it. Every lesson that shaped you, every scar that changed you, every hardship that forced you to grow, came wrapped in pain. The heartbreak that taught you self-respect, the failure that taught you focus, the loss that taught you gratitude. Pain was your real mentor all along. But most people misinterpret it. They see pain as the end, not the process. They escape it with distraction, comfort, and excuses. They numb it instead of using it. They silence it instead of listening to it, and that's why they stay weak. Pain doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to reveal you, to strip away everything fake and show you what's real. That's why warriors embrace pain. They don't ask, "Why me?" They ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" Because there's always a message inside the discomfort. Pain points you to your weaknesses, so you can turn them into weapons. When you train your body, the muscle grows through micro tears. When you train your mind, growth happens the same way, through emotional strain, through mental resistance. That's the design. That's how strength is made. If you look back on your hardest seasons, you'll realize something. The pain that once made you cry is now the reason you stand taller. The rejection that once hurt your ego is now what built your discipline. The storm that once scared you is now what taught you calm. Pain was never the enemy. It was the initiation. The initiation into the warrior's mindset, because only those who walk through the fire understand how to create peace in it. You can read all the motivational books in the world. You can watch every video, every speech, every reel. But if you never face pain, you'll never develop true strength. Because comfort creates complacency, discomfort creates growth. That's the unspoken truth of mental toughness. Every strong person you admire has bled, broken, and rebuilt themselves 1,000 times. They didn't get stronger by avoiding pain. They got stronger by studying it. Think of the athlete who trains before dawn, pushing through exhaustion when everyone else sleeps. Think of the entrepreneur who fails 10 times, but treats every failure like feedback. Think of the soldier who keeps walking, even when the body says, "Stop." What do they all have in common? They don't hate pain, they respect it, because pain is the price of mastery. You can't fake it. You can't shortcut it. You can only earn it. Midsection, repetition for impact. You can't build mental strength in comfort. You can't build emotional control in ease. You can't build focus in pleasure. You build them all in pain. So stop running from it. Stop praying for an easy life. And start training for a stronger one. The more pain you can endure with purpose, the more powerful your mind becomes. Because pain doesn't ask permission, it demands progress. When pain hits, don't panic. Breathe, observe it, understand what it's showing you. If it's physical pain, it's showing you your limits. If it's emotional pain, it's showing you your attachments. If it's mental pain, it's showing you your fears. Every form of pain carries a hidden message, if you're disciplined enough to listen. And that's what separates warriors from wanderers. Warriors feel pain fully, but they don't let it define them. They extract the lesson and move on stronger, so the next time you face failure, don't say, "Why is this happening to me?" Say, "What is this preparing me for?" That's the reframe that builds unbreakable people. Because life isn't happening to break you. It's happening to build you. Every challenge, every delay, every loss is forging your patience, sharpening your focus, and hardening your discipline. The more you resist pain, the longer it owns you. The more you embrace it, the faster you evolve. Pain is not the end of your strength, it's the beginning of it. When life tests you, Nu stron. Don't hide. Don't complain. Stand still. Feel it. Breathe through it on tenris here, comma. Because warriors don't pray for lighter loads. They build stronger shoulders, and when you train your mind like a warrior, pain becomes your personal gym. Every hardship becomes a rep. Every failure becomes a workout. Every scar becomes proof that you didn't quit. Pain is not your punishment, it's your preparation. It's not your enemy, it's your evolution. And every time you face it with courage, you're rewiring your brain to see challenge as fuel. That's what Funny Fun Audiobook Gala stands for. Mental mastery, emotional discipline, and unbreakable self-control. Pain will visit everyone, but only a few will learn its language. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. Let it turn you into the warrior you were meant to be, because comfort is temporary, but strength, that's forever. Change doesn't ask for your permission. It doesn't knock on your door politely. It shows up uninvited. And it tests your flexibility, your focus, your faith. Life will not adjust to your comfort. You must adjust to its reality. That's the first rule of warriors: adapt or break. Most people fail not because they're weak, but because they refuse to evolve. They cling to the old version of themselves, trying to fight new battles with old weapons. You can't win today's war with yesterday's mindset. You can't face a new challenge with the same ego that lost the last one. The moment you stop adapting, you start decaying. Look around you. Everything changes. The seasons, the markets, the people. Eventual bodint in mind. That's the one thing most people keep frozen in the past. They replay the same pain, the same excuses, the same outdated beliefs, and then wonder why life keeps hitting them the same way. Adaptation is not a luxury, it's survival. Think about water. It takes the shape of whatever contains it. It moves around obstacles, never losing its essence, always finding a way forward. Belaiktat. Flow when you must, force when you need, but never stop moving, because stillness, when life demands motion, is self-destruction. The warrior's strength is not rigidity, it's fluidity. The world will change faster than your emotions can process. Your job isn't to resist, it's to recalibrate. When something ends, don't drown in grief, shift into growth. When plans fall apart, don't panic, adjust your angle. When people leave, don't beg, rebuild. Every change that hurts you is just life saying, it's time for the next level. But if you refuse to move, you'll break under your own resistance. You either adapt or you get replaced. That's the universal law. Loi nature. The strongest species isn't the lion or the bear. It's the one that adapts the fastest. The same rule applies to your mind when your habits stop working. You don't complain, you rewire when your routine stops producing results. You don't quit, you adjust the system. Warriors don't cry over change, they customize it. Adaptation doesn't mean weakness. It means intelligence. When life shifts, you pivot. When emotions rise, you observe. When challenges appear, you re-strategize. You don't freeze. You don't whine. You respond. Because you can't control everything, but you can always control your response. That's mental warfare. the art of staying stable in unstable times. Every level of your life will demand a different version of you. The person you were last year can't survive this year's challenges. The identity that got you started won't get you finished. That's why growth feels uncomfortable. It's your old self dying, so your new self can take over. Don't fear that death. Embrace it. Warriors shed their skin often. They reinvent themselves without apology. Because the mind must stay as dynamic as the world it lives in. There's a story of a soldier who returned from war. His body was injured. His career was over. Everything he trained for was gone. He could have broken, but instead he adapted. He became a coach, teaching mental toughness to others. He turned pain into purpose. He turned defeat into direction. That's what warriors do. They evolve with the mission, not the moment. You can lose everything externally, but if you keep your ability to adapt, you can rebuild anything. Adaptation is not about perfection. It's about adjustment. You don't need to know every answer. You just need to be flexible enough to move when the moment shifts. If the strategy fails, learn. If the plan collapses, rebuild. If your timing's off, recalibrate. That's how you build momentum out of chaos. Every obstacle is just data. Every failure is feedback. Every mistake is a mirror. Adapt or break. There's no middle ground. People fear change because it makes them feel powerless. But true power comes from mastering change, not avoiding it. When everything is shifting around you, you become the constant, calm, clear, adaptable. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. You stop clinging to comfort and start embracing evolution. That's where mental strength is born. Not in knowing what will happen, but in knowing that whatever happens, you will handle it. Adaptation is evolution in real time. Every time life hits you, it's asking one question: can you adjust? When your goals get blocked, will you find a new route or freeze in frustration? When the world changes, will you reinvent or resist? When pressure hits, will you break or bend? Every great leader, every great fighter, every great survivor has mastered that one art, the art of adjustment. Life won't slow down for you. Life won't pause so you can prepare. Life won't rewind so you can redo. It keeps moving, so you must move faster. Think quicker, evolve smarter. That's how you win in chaos. That's how warriors rise when others freeze. Because those who adapt dominate. Those who resist disintegrate. Think of your own life right now. What have you been resisting? What change have you been avoiding? What truth have you been too afraid to face? That resistance is your prison. The moment you release it, you'll feel your power return. Because adaptation doesn't just make you stronger, it makes you freer. Change is not your enemy. It's your environment. You either master it or it masters you. The warrior's mind is built for evolution. Constantly learning, adjusting, sharpening. When life shifts, don't wish for the old days. Create better ones. When people doubt you, don't fight them, outgrow them. When circumstances change, don't collapse, calibrate. Because every change carries a hidden opportunity. For those brave enough to evolve, adapt or break. That's the law. When the wind changes, adjust your sails. When the storm comes, Strengthen your stance. When life transforms, transform faster, because warriors don't wait for things to get easy. They get better at handling what's hard. Adaptation is the highest form of power. It's how you stay unshakable in a world that never stops moving. So from this moment, stop fighting change. Start flowing with it. Start shaping it. Start mastering it. Because those who adapt don't just survive. They lead.